Hello, I'm going to walk you through creating a PVME banner from the templates that we've got. The banner itself is actually really straightforward. We're going to build it up bit by bit, walk you through the different steps that are in the guide. The banner is 1440 by 600 pixels, so 1440 wide, 600 pixels deep. So they're all consistent. We're going to use the same font in all of them. There's a blurry background on it, you can see here. Then we've got the picture of the boss itself, bit of text, and then these 8 boxes below which denote what the boss size is, or NPC monster size. It might not be bosses necessarily, whether it's immune to poison or not, what's the weapon that it's most vulnerable to, Omniguard, Terrasol Maul, Inquisitor Staff, those kind of things. And the last box, fourth one here, is whether familiar damage counts. So we can see a Hermod, it's a 3x3, as in the boss on the minimap is 3 squares by 3 squares. It's vulnerable to poison. The Omniguard is the best weapon, and it's not going to take any normal familiar damage. So let's build that from scratch. Now, the first thing in the guide itself is to grab the template file. So I'm just going to close this final product and start from scratch. What I've done here is just copied in the template file. Now you can barely see it. There's actually the 8 boxes here on the screen. So what I'm going to do is just change the background so it's not transparent. There you go. So this is the file that you'll start with. That is very, very straightforward. There is also one more template that you will drag in later, which I'll just drag in now so you can see what it looks like. It's this one here. And all this does is it tells us where to put the fonts. If you remember, there was writing saying Hermod. We're going to put that in this black space here in between the red bars. But for now, I'm just going to hide that there. So we're going to start with this one here. The step one is to put in a background image. Now, in the guide, what we said is go into the game, visit the monster's area, where they live, the arena, whatever. And you've got 2 options. If you've got the Orb of Oculus, that's an item in game, you can use that and you can zoom around the map, or you can use the free cam. We just right click on the world map, click free cam, and you can use the WASD keys to kind of move around with your mouse, which is exactly what I did for the Hermod one. I'm going to pause now. I'm going to go into the game, grab that, come back, and I'll import the image. And we'll go from there. Okay, so I've gone in to the game. I've used FreeCam and I've grabbed that. I'm just going to paste in the screenshot. Literally all I've done is a screenshot from Razal's arena here. So you can see you can't see any guides anymore. So we're going to just move that to the bottom. If you're in PowerPoint, you right-click, send to back, but we're going to put it to the back. Now, you can't really quite see everything clearly. So there's 2 things we're going to do here. One is we're going to crop it so it's the correct size, and we're going to cut off all the excess. And the second one is we're going to make it really blurry, because we don't actually need to see the detail on it. I'm just going to blur it first. Let's go with a nice strong blur. Yeah, something like that looks nice. And then I'm going to clip it. That's just, if you see here, it's blurring the edges. We don't want that. So I'm just going to make it a nice clean blur. Then we're going to do some cropping. I'm just going to crop it down to the size of the picture itself. So we'll go to the edge of the canvas, the top of the canvas, left of the canvas, wherever that is, here, hiding, and the bottom of the canvas. Very good. And yeah, we're pretty happy with how that looks like. You can kind of make out these in the background, but they're going to be hidden over. Sorry, Razal and Hermod here. They're going to be hidden by the boss itself. So that's step first stage. We've added the boxes, we've got blurry background, and that's step 1 complete. Now, the second thing we need to do is get the font. It's called the Russo 1 font. There's a link in the guide to it. Click it, install it. What we're going to do is we're going to create, we're going to say the word Hermod. We're going to make it completely white. And we're going to start by grabbing that font. So we want Russo 1. And we're going to start with font size 102. That's the suggested font size. And then what we're going to do is grab that guide back from earlier on. So where is that? This one here. Perfect. I'm not sure I cropped this one. No, I didn't crop the background correctly. So let's just actually crop that to the correct size. 1440 by 600. Perfect. And we want this text to be smack bang in the middle of those 2 red lines. So I'm just going to move it around until it's in the middle vertically of those 2 red lines. Now, what you would normally do in image editing is sort of align things center. We're not going to be doing that today. We're going to align it in the middle of these boxes here. And if you want to create your own guide to make it easier, go for it. It just needs to be kind of a visual guess anyway. But I'll show you how I would do it. I would just put a box here over the other boxes, select the text with it, and I'd center them on each other. And then you can be sure that that is centered. So we're done with the guys now. We can delete that layer. And then we've got the text saying HomeMod. Brilliant. The next thing we do is going to grab the image from PVME. Sorry, not PVME, RuneScape Wiki. So I'm going to go into the RuneScape Wiki. I realize you can't see what I'm doing, but I'm going to go to the HomeMod page. I'm going to click on the image. I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to paste it in here. So all I've done is just paste that directly from the wiki. We're going to move that over to the right-hand side until we're happy that it's kind of in this middle section, looking good. I might crop his feet off a little bit and his hat off a little bit. Don't need all of it. Let's just crop those. Very good. I'm sure you'll be much quicker at this than I will. And then that is stage 2 done. Step 2 complete. And then on to the fiddly bit. So you will see in the guide there are lots of links to various icons. Like I've said before, we're going to use ticks, crosses, and icons throughout this. What I'm going to do is just paste them all in so you can see them all. Let's just move them all in. Yes, there's quite a few of them. I'm just going to move them all up here and spread them all out for a moment. Don't need that, don't need that, don't need that. And we're going to spread them all out so we can see what each of them are. Now, the ticks and crosses go into these boxes here. The poison is the second one. The SGB is the first one. The familiar is the last one. And then all of these are this one here. So you choose which one is most applicable. So in this case, we're using the OmniGuard, so we'll use the OmniGuard. Now, in this case, we don't need the other three, so we're going to delete those. We know that it is not going to take any familiar damage. It is going to take the OmniGuard damage. We will then copy this, move this over here. It will take poison damage. And we're not going to put tick and cross here. Instead, we're going to make another text box. So I'm just going to copy this one where it says HerMod, and I'm going to move it into place. Make sure it's in the middle. We know that HerMod is a 3x3. I've just made a typo. 3x3. And we're going to start with the font size, I think 50-ish, 53, something like that. I'm going to move that into place. That looks great. So what I'm going to do quickly, because I want to align all of these and I don't want to have to select all the backgrounds on all of those, I'm just going to lock the background, lock the box layer, and then we can select just these. So I'm firstly going to vertically align each of the columns. Then we're going to position them so they are in the center of those boxes. What I'll do is I'll just zoom in to make this easier. Now, again, in a perfect world, these would be in the exact center, but we are not overly worried about that. As long as they visually look like they're in the center, that's more than good enough. We'll take these and we're going to then horizontally align them. And again, we're going to pop those in the center. Same thing with these four. Horizontally align them, pop them in the center. This one looks a little bit off, so we'll move that one. Zoom out and have a look at how that looks. It's looking good. So you're done. Save that, upload that to the requests, let one of the staff members stick you a PVME link and submit that. Any questions, pop it on the editor's chat. Cheers.